When starting the path of the therapeutic recovery with any individual, the first skill I introduce and start practicing with people is the thought stopping skill, or what I have come to affectionately modify and rename the stop sign skill. This little skill is really great to help individuals start practicing learning how to interrupt their thoughts, their emotions, their behaviors that through time and conditioning have become this swirling mass, this mutiny, if you will, that happens within us, where things become deeply dysregulated and we no longer now know how to manage or regulate our emotional experiences. Thus, the stop sign skill. Sego, and welcome back to Wholistic Wellness with Michelle, the space where when we share our knowledge together, our wisdom arises. So yeah, a moment ago I said mutiny, as in mutiny on the bounty. Now, a great analogy to really help us to understand this great little skill is think of yourself like a ship. Your captain are your thoughts going on in your head. The emotions are the first mate, and the behaviors are the rest of the crew. And what is typically supposed to happen for us is that these components, if you will, work together to help us and move us through life experiences. Good and great life experiences, and really not so great and maybe sometimes some really bad life experiences. But that's not what typically happens for us when we have emotion dysregulation. What typically happens for us is this. We have a life experience and our emotions charge right into that breach. It tends to be very loud. Another term you may have heard before is emotional reactivity. So we have this loud emotional reaction to the experience. Our behaviors are right behind those emotions, and the swirling is starting to happen because we're not regulating our experience. And our thoughts are back there going, what the heck is happening? And down that rabbit hole we get pulled into that mutiny experience. Now, this might sound really familiar to you. I've had a lot of clients throughout my career tell me how familiar that is for them. And to be quite frank and honest with you, it is absolutely something I've walked through and experienced in my life. I think the big challenge for a lot of us is we know that that's what's happening. The problem is that we've never been taught the skills and don't have the experience or the ability to stop that spiral and change it and do something different. And that's where our little stop sign skill comes in. As I said a moment ago, its purpose is to interrupt that spiral. And what it does is it helps us to start pulling apart, deconstructing that spiral and compartmentalizing the differences between what is a thought, which are the words and the images and the concepts that go through my head, what is an emotion, which are the way I feel, my bodily responses and sensations that I feel when I have an experience, and my behaviors, which are the actions I engage in, and often the actions I don't engage in. I might want to do something, but I don't do it. So those are my behaviors. Something important I want you to keep in mind as you practice this skill, that this is your life. It's not the mutiny's life. It's not the rabbit hole's life. It's not your emotions' life. It's your life. And the skill is designed to interrupt and help you to start taking your power back from that mutiny, taking your power back from that dysregulation. Over time, repeated practice, and really getting a solid handle on this skill, it also helps us to reduce the risk in the future of the mutiny taking control again and again. A wonderful side outcome, I'm going to call it a side outcome, that clients have reported to me through this wonderful little skill is that it helps them not only to take power back from the mutiny, but as they're stepping back, they're changing their perspective on how they actually look at the life experience. And by changing their perspective and seeing things differently, they're actually also able to start letting go of things in a healthier and a different way, letting go of those things that no longer serve them healthy purposes in their lives. And that brings us to our exercise for today. For your thought stopping or stop sign skill, there are 3 primary steps. Step 1 is get yourself a stop sign. Either get something online, print it off, or go to a dollar store, get some construction paper and make yourself a stop sign. Then, as I showed you when I showed you the stop sign at the very beginning of this video, I want you to write on your stop sign. Either stop, think, and breathe, or stop, breathe, and think. We always want the word stop to come first because we want you to visualize it actually as a stop sign. Whether you are a driver or whether you're a passenger in a vehicle, when you come to a stoplight, come to a stop sign, you are physically stopping your vehicle. We want you to get the same concept going on in your head. If you need to think first, then practice thinking, taking a step back, what's the thought going through my head, then breathe. If you are someone who needs to breathe first because you're very dysregulated, then we're going to get you to focus on breathing to ground yourself in the moment. Then we're going to move to the thinking part. When we're thinking, we're essentially stepping into step 2. Now, step 2 is kind of like a check-in. We want you to simply, especially in the beginning, practicing the skill, just capture what is one thought going through your head, what is one emotion you're experiencing, and what is one behavior you're engaging in this moment. Over time and repeated practice, hopefully you can get to a point where you're able to identify several thoughts, several emotions, and several behaviors. But in the beginning, as we're gentle and compassionate with ourselves, practicing a new skill, we're just going to do 1, 1, and 1. Once we're done that moves us into step 3. And we want to just simply and gently ask ourselves one simple question. Is what I'm doing helping me? And depending on your answer, we are going to stay where we are. So if we say, yep, what I'm doing is really helping me right now, then we're just going to stay in the behavior we're engaging in because it's most likely something healthy. If we're able to say, no, what I'm doing right now is not helping me, then I want you to ask yourself, is there something that you can be doing that is helpful for yourself? And that is our stop sign skill. The research is pretty clear. In the beginning, I'm going to encourage you to try to practice this 3 times a week. Over time, if you get really good at it, I would encourage you to try to practice it at least once a day. It doesn't need to be a long belabored skill. It can be very short. Literally, as you can see, it can take just a few minutes. Over time, you might need it multiple times a day. Whatever is going to fit you best and help you to start interrupting that mutiny and kind of taking your power and control back. As you move through practicing this skill, please be gentle and compassionate with yourself, especially in the beginning and especially if you've never practiced skills like this before. It's most likely going to feel alien, foreign, and maybe even a bit silly at the beginning, practicing, trying to get your head wrapped around and engaging with the skill itself. And that's okay. I have yet to have clients, and I've used this skill throughout my career, tell me that it wasn't effective for them. Through that repeated practice, what has happened for clients is that it becomes second nature to them. And the physical cues that they carry around with them or have in their house, they can put them away because it's just really embedded and become a really well balanced tool to balance out their holistic wellness toolbox. Be creative with this skill. Make big ones. Post them on your bedside table, your fridge, the bathroom mirror. A couple great places that I've had clients over the years typically put them. And even if you feel comfortable to put it in an open space, have your family and friends help you practice it as well. There's also the little stop sign, and I've had lots of clients really find creative and effective ways to carry this around with them. And again, continuing to be that cue when they're out there in the community. Wallets, purses, the 2 really creative one that stands out in my head is I had a client make a mini one, and they took off the case from their cell phone and put it between the cell phone case and the cell phone because the case was clear, and so they saw their stop sign every day. The other individual laminated it and put it on the rear view mirror in their car, so every time they drove to and from work every day, they saw their stop sign, they practiced their skill. As always, a quick disclaimer. None of the skills, the knowledge, the teachings that we share in this channel are ever designed to replace actual therapy. As you're hearing this video today, as you're practicing the skill of stop sign, if something's resonating within you and starting to question, should I seek therapeutic professional support, I'm going to encourage you strongly, please go do that. At least minimum research. Your family doctor is usually a good resource. There's all kinds of great online supports now. And depending on where you live, there will be resources in your local community, such as the online support, the Ontario Structured Psychotherapy Program, who I will give you the link for that down below. I really love this little skill, and I hope you come to love it too. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns about the skill itself and how to practice it and work through it and incorporate it into your life, please leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can to try to help you practice and move through the skill as best we can. If something in our little video today really resonated with you, hit that like button, give us the thumbs up, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to my little channel. Every time you do that, it helps me to grow this channel and helps me to bring more and fresh knowledge to you, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, and it helps us to really round out our holistic wellness being. Oh, as well, before I forget, please share this video as well. If something in it really resonates with you and you think, this might help this friend I know, please share this video with them as well. And hey, maybe you could practice the skill together. As always, the knowledge and information, the sources that I used for today's video, I will post it in the description section below for you. And I'll see you in 3 weeks for my next video. Remember that one person, one idea, and one mindfully shared and explored piece of knowledge does have the power and the ability to change another person's life and quality of that life for the better. Niao yo, and thank you for tuning in to my little video today. Stop, breathe, and think, and may you go in a good way.